Ruh-roh, we're already missing a tile, everyone. But we already do that. Trick's on you. Haha. For that time of year, right? We've got things to do, truck related, to keep the jobs outside of the tiles. So this evening, Clyde is not going to be with us. I'm not going to lie. I have a feeling that guy's going to pop on out of nowhere. I'm not going to lie. But
it's only Clyde could do, right?
Right, exactly. With that said, we, as always, will welcome the three other tiles for their intellect, banter, and all-knowing knowledge. So with that, Governor, how are you tonight?
Doing well. Just got back. Just brought when I got my daughter from gymnastics, and it's that drive home to really say, okay, what tell me the whole day in the 20 minutes that we have together. Good night, and I can move on with my life.
Totally. And she's got really good form and whatnot in the pictures I've seen on social media. Like, she's going to be a good gymnast if she decides to stick with it.
Well, she's learning now about how taxing it is.
Yeah.
And how much work. I have full appreciation for what she does. It's 4 hours a day. It's crazy.
It is.
So
4 days a week?
Yeah, three days a week.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good job, Dad. Sir Lucious, how are you tonight, sir?
I am well. I'm rolling. Getting rested up and just in time for the new year. Back to bowling. So
I was just see you beat me to it. Dang it!
My heart is good. Yeah, I'm good. Off to a solid start. Nothing spectacular yet. I think it's like the third time I've bowled since May, but I'm getting better. So we'll figure it out.
Solid 201. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened. So.
Love it. Love it. Last but not least, Lamar, how are you this evening, sir?
I'm adjusting. I'm doing pretty good. I had my rental car broken into. It had my backpack jacked with my iPad in it, and I'm a creature of habit, so I don't have my backgrounds. I don't have my I don't have my stuff, but we're gonna make it work.
I'm just hearing excuses. Get over it. Do a show.
Oh. Wow. I'm here, right? I feel like Marshawn. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Good answer. Good answer. All right. Well, we'll start the conversations off with a little bit of structure, and then we'll go looser as we go. So most recently, we've talked about and we've witnessed just in their implementations, World Athletics and some of their rules and adjustments, we'll call them, modifications, manipulations, however you want to phrase it, in the various event groups. So most recently, Lamar brought to light the one that affects him the most right now. If you could just speak on that just glumly so the people know. You're muted, sir. It's 2020 all over again. You're muted.
All right, I was just checking to make sure I did. I thought I unmuted and I muted it. So see, I told you I got different things. Yeah, so here in the last couple of weeks, unbeknownst to most people, the combined events challenge structure has been changed. It used to be pretty straightforward. There was a list of meets. You had to have 3 scores to contend for the title, and basically it was the person with the highest 3-score total was the number 1 decathlete in the world by ways of combined events challenge. Meaning, really, that's all it said, is that you won the combined events challenge. Now, they've made it as Euro-centered as humanly possible. There's literally one event on the entire list that was not in Europe this year, and it was in Eugene. They're now including heptathlons indoors and giving, yeah, oh yeah, and giving score relative score points or whatever it is for outdoors. Interesting fun fact. Indoor World Championships does not count because only 16 people can be in that. So that competition is deemed too exclusive to be, it's not fair, which I find hilarious because everybody has to come to Europe to do 3 meets. Add to that, you're only allowed to include 1 championship meet. So if you did World Championships and then 9 days later did Commonwealth Games, only one of those scores, the highest of those 2, counts. So in our particular case, we thought we already had 3 scores. We should be in 3rd place with, all right, if you score this, your average will go up and you will win. Found out today we're in 6th place, but based on the way they've done the rankings, we actually need fewer points than we thought we needed. You go figure that one. There are 5 people ahead of Lyndon on the World Athletics list, and all 5 of them have lower seasonal best scores than he does. There you go. They all live in Europe too.
Well, I mean, it just sounds to me like it's something that they did to benefit people. You just gotta live with it, man. And then you can do about it. Griping about it's not gonna do you any good, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and you know how I am. Like, I don't care what the rules are, just don't change them in the middle. And again, as I said, because of the way we had planned out the season, it literally doesn't change anything for us. It doesn't change, I mean, literally, it doesn't change anything at all for us, other than it actually makes the score that he needs to win the combined events challenge less.
Sounds like you got off easy then, man.
Yeah. 100%. This is a procedural question that I wanted to bring to the body. It's not really a complaint.
So basically, and I'm gonna dive into what's going on the track and field aspect of it. I just get a sense that more and more World Athletics is trying to move to what they, to a tennis model, or that kind of model. What is the biggest complaint / criticism of the Williams sisters? They only showed up for the majors, right? And they went to school, they got their high school degree, their collegiate degrees, they played when they felt like it. And it was like, who are these people? Who do they think they are? And what I'm getting at is the normal tennis way of life is that you're playing pretty much every week, all year. And there's this requirement by the WTA and the ATP that, if you are considered a pro, you've got to line up and you've got to play all these tournaments, right? They give you the schedule, you plan it out and you play. And that's how you get your rankings going into the majors, right? And I get a sense that World Athletics is, I think it's more than a nudge now. Like they're pretty much just flat out just telling, track and field athletes, professional track and field athletes, that if you want to make it to the GP final, if you want to make it to World Championships, that sort of thing, you have to line up and you have to get points. And now they're raising the standard so high that, when you, outside of the sprints, which, the level of sprinting has gone up so high that, I mean, I think we're at what, 35 women that have qualified time-wise. But outside of that, you know, if you have any hopes of making it in the jumps, in the you know, any of those events, you've got to go over to Europe. You've got to go and compete in the Diamond League meets. You've got to get points at, you know, Pan Ams. You've got to get points at the NACAC championships. You got to go get points at the Europeans. And what that does is that it automatically excludes the Venuses and the Serenas of the world. That, you know, they're talented enough, you know, but they're not pro. They're not, you know, they're probably still figuring stuff out, but they're good enough to go over there. Those athletes are going to get excluded more and more. So it's, you know, it'll be intriguing to see what the end result is. I think we're kind of in that, you know, in between hair stage where you're just starting to grow out your hair and you know, you still have your hat on because you don't really want people to see it. But I think that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I definitely think it's starting to smell like a push towards the way women's basketball used to be, right? Like when you finished college basketball, if you wanted to have a professional career, you basically moved to Europe.
Yeah.
You know, for half to 3/4 of the year. And, you know, the way the league, the level of basketball below NBA was for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely going to be to the point where most of your professional season is going to be spent in Europe.
Yep.
Welcome, Clyde. Be safe, please.
Hey, listen, I just drove about an hour and a half detour around the Grapevine and through a wildfire. So I'm having a great time.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wow. So did you cut through like, oh, you're at the Grapevine. Oh, wow.
Around the Grapevine.
Around the
Yeah.
Grapevine. Yikes.
And so to give you context, because I never entered the Grapevine, and when I emerged, I am just now passing Six Flags. So I literally drove an hour and a half to go absolutely nowhere but around the mountain.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's horrible.
And for those who are not California savvy, let's just say up and down is, I don't know, what is the Grapevine, 10 miles? Up and down, something like that?
Yeah.
You know, long side is 15. And he said to drive an hour and a half to go around it.
That sucks.
Yeah. That's tough.
Man.
But you won because she said you were going to make your way onto the show.
I know. I said he's gonna pop on and it's gonna happen. Just gonna happen. Okay, well, let's get a little reckless. Again, I mean, here it is, the last day of August that we're recording, heading right into September and Labor Day. And there are going to be people who are packing their homes, moving across country, and establishing new jobs and new sites and new states because the carousel is rolling. And it's like picking up, like as if it was June right now.
Oh,
or May.
Somebody just put like $7 worth of quarters in that thing.
Like unreal. I mean, like, I know I wake up every day not knowing what day it is and hoping I land in the right spot. But legitimately at this point, if you were just to look at the action that's going on the list, you would legitimately think it's May or June.
I mean, when you figure that the usual ripple effect is for every Power 5 job that comes open, there's another 2 jobs, non-Power 5, that follow it, right? That's about what happens. Well, if each one of us named a Power 5 job that we knew that is currently open, we'd go around this 5-person panel like 3 times.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think for me, like look what's going on in the throws world right now. You know, so
Yes.
K-State coach goes to LSU. The Penn State coach goes to Arizona.
Wait,
UVA is
not
reported.
K-State, Kansas.
I
Right.
said Kansas. I'm sorry, Kansas to LSU. My bad. Penn State to Arizona.
There you go.
Reportedly UVA to Southern Cal. Right. So now that leaves openings at Kansas, Penn State, and UVA.
And apparently, Oregon is doing a switcheroo to Tennessee.
Yeah, the Oregon throw, well, the former Oregon throws coach, because Blue now is
Right.
so they just say, hey, you send me your guy, I'll send you mine, and we're good.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
The wild thing is, if you look at the throws list that Sir Lucious just mentioned, Penn State now has throws and sprints to fill, because the sprint coach, Aaron Tucker, just took a head coaching job at
Eastern
Washington.
Washington.
It's the school with the
Not
red
gonna
football.
let
It's the school with the red football field,
So,
right? And
the only
Kansas
contribution-
Kansas loses their throws coach, so now there's 2 openings at that Power 5 school.
Yep.
Yep.
The only appropriate thing about all this is that it's unhinged. It's completely unhinged. I don't even know how we're here. It's about to be September. It makes no sense.
I mean,
And then we just got the news that Jeff's leaving Louisville
Yeah.
to go off into another world. So
So we
now you got
just
Louisville.
named 6 Power 5 openings currently,
Yes.
and there are more very much to come.
well, okay,
that we can't talk about.
we talked about the throws openings. We just talked about Louisville. FAMU doesn't have anybody on their staff. Not a soul.
No staff.
Not one person. Right. A&T still has a distance job open.
Yep.
Maryland still has a sprint jobs open.
Yep.
We just talked about Penn State and Kansas sprint. They both have jobs open. And I know Miami announced one of their openings being filled. I don't know if they filled the other one yet.
Wow.
Well, I mean, the new director was hired at Akron over the last couple of days.
Oh yeah,
but
and then she's got to fill a staff.
She's got to fill a staff.
Boston College has to fill a staff.
Yeah.
Oh wait, James Madison.
Yes.
Which means South Carolina has an opening.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Governor, I need you to do me a big favor, man. That background's killing me, bro.
Yeah.
It makes you look like you have. Makes me look like you have no teeth.
Braces on.
Yeah. Braces on.
Makes you look like you have no teeth. Makes you look like you're a jack-o'-lantern at times. Like, nah, right, your wife would not appreciate you being out in public looking like that.
All right.
That's really funny.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, now I got an orange beard, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Can I say this? And I know Lucious will definitely feel the weight of this one. The shock of the cycle to me is Delethea Quarles leaving South Carolina for JMU. Like, Curtis Fry has had the same staff together since I was on his team. And for her to walk away from South Carolina is just incredible news. I'm super proud. Congrats to her for that appointment. She deserves it. I'm sure she'll do a great job. But I never thought I'd see her not on the staff with Curtis Fry. Like that was a shock to me.
If there's anything that we can read into this, I mean, we just saw what Rosalind did, and stepping away, getting head coach experience. I mean, I think it's one of those unspoken truths right now where if you are looking to get a head job, any job that you go after, you're going to be going up against experienced head coaches. And if you don't have head coaching experience, it's going to be a knock against you. And unless you have the right people that are vouching for you and that truly respect what you do, it's going to be an uphill climb. So, I can see a situation where D is going out to get head coaching experience. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where, as long as she can show that she can handle a staff, she's professional, and she can get results. That's what matters in this profession.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And speaking to that, I mean, that's a guarantee that's a big reason why Aaron Tucker took the position he took, because he, again, looking for that experience so he can try to get back into the P5 as a head coach at some point in time.
So
somebody mentioned that maybe he might be the head coach of Florida. I'm like, not anytime soon.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. So yeah.
I just coughed. I'm sorry. I just coughed. Sorry.
That's funny.
So, part of that, I wonder, if this is a banner year. I brought it up. I mean, how many Black head coaches, brand new Black head coaches, are there right now in this coaching carousel in 2022? I mean, I'm counting 6, 8.
Quite a few.
So UNT, Eastern Washington, JMU.
Okay, hold on a second. So we're not letting you get away with that. Now you're gonna have to say and name the school and the people that got the jobs. You're gonna be the governor. Come on.
Doug Marshall at UNT, Aaron Tucker, Eastern Washington, D. Quarles at JMU, Alan Johnson, North Carolina A&T, Leroy Burrell at Auburn, Carl Lewis at U of H, Nadia, what her last name is, at Lindenwood, Brian Johnson, La Tech, Rosalind at Ohio State, Kadivas at TCU. Who is it that got the SIU job?
Rich Jones.
Yep.
Jones.
And I don't think you mentioned Dwayne Ross yet either.
Dwayne Ross at Tennessee.
To Tennessee,
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, that you can't tell me that this is not a banner year. I mean, that is a lot of Black head coaches that are getting an opportunity. And there's one I'm missing. Was he not at Eastern Tennessee? What's the name of the?
Oh, Hassan Stamps.
Hassan
Yeah.
Stamps.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Good job, man. Clyde, do you remember what school he got? He started a brand new program. He's good.
He's starting a brand new program.
Warner.
Warner, I believe it's called. It's Division III in Florida.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, not Division III. NAIA.
Yeah.
What I love about the list, and I'm sure there are even more, is that it flies in such contrast to the sport that I work predominantly in, because there were three hired this year, and they wrote an article in D1 Baseball about how that was progress.
Wow.
So
That's ridiculous.
Here's what's wilder. I don't want to cut you off because I definitely want to get back to you, but it's not only, here's what makes it worse. It's 3 out of 47 new head coach hires this season. 3.
So what I want to talk about is the challenge now. Okay, so we got the job, now we got to keep them. We have the job, now we have to do a good job. And I'm going to challenge even some of us on the screen. There's 2 of us on the screen that are head coaches, to be available to lend an ear to these folks when they struggle at times.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to struggle now. Like, they have to reach out to us and ask us for, our help. But, I think that's, part of the charge here is like, okay, these young folks who've got these jobs, now they have to be smart enough to pick up the phone and call people and ask for advice. But those of us who have had this experience need to also be there to lend that advice, So that's the challenge.
That's very well said. And I agree. I'm pretty certain when I got the head job at Academy of Art that I was the absolute youngest head coach in the country, period. Not Black head, just the youngest. And now I think me and
18
at Vanderbilt, yes,
Althea.
me and Althea are, as far as P5, G5, the 2 youngest. And I've always felt a sense of responsibility to that particular mission, because the fact of the matter is, even though our industry does a much better job clearly of creating and giving opportunities to African Americans to be head coaches than football does, or than baseball does, or basketball, it's still not enough, right? So when one of us screws these things up, it's a bad look, and it hurts, and it costs a lot of other people opportunities. So absolutely, if people need advice, or people, you know, need an ear, or you know, just need to vent, I'm always available, and I know Sir Lucious sees it the same way.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the things that I've learned throughout the years, and this is in respect to athletic directors, I've learned that there is a buddy system where any new AD has 2 established ADs assigned to them. Like, it's not a choice.
Oh.
And so the idea is that you are not going to fail. And, you know, when I first heard it, it was like, are you kidding me? Like, are you, like, seriously, like, this is something that, you know, how many of our, you know, of our young Black head coaches, white head coaches have we seen that have had, you know, these opportunities, and for whatever reason, they've, you know, they've fallen by the wayside, something's happened, whatever, and you never see them get that opportunity again, right? And you wonder if there was some sort of, you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, something that established or decreed or whatever, but the idea that Sir Lucious would pick up the phone and call, you know, Brian Johnson and say, hey man, you know, if you need anything, you know, congratulations on the position. If you need anything, you need any advice, hey, pick up the phone, call me. And that is, I think, you know, that is something that I think would help any young coach, you know, just to know that someone that's established, someone that's been in the game for decades, you know, would have some idea, hey, Sir Lucious, I got this issue going on right now. I need some advice. How do I approach X, Y, and Z? It's a big deal, man. I mean, and let's not disregard the fact that what a head coach in this day and age has to deal with on a daily basis is insane. And the NCAA has now piled everything on the head coach's head. So yes, they do need support, whether they want to admit it or not. It is absolutely needed.
Yeah, I mean, look, when very much like Clyde, when I took the head job at Cal, I was the youngest head coach in the country at 32. And the first phone call I made was to the guy in the upper right-hand corner. And I asked him 2 questions. What do I do? But more importantly, what 3 things do I not do? Right? Because, you know, if you want to be the master of your own destiny, you want to kind of make sure you get through the first 90 days without making ginormous mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, I think every one of us would have loved to have a buddy system.
Yeah.
Love to, like, when you get the head coaching job, you get assigned, they give you 2 phone numbers.
Yeah.
Call these 2 people.
Yep. Not a, hey, I hope you do. No, you have no choice.
Right.
Call these 2 people. You know, that is, I think it's something that, you know, is much needed. I think we'd have a much better success rate if, you know, this was something that was established.
Hey, there's a good idea.
Here's the key to this, though. The key is a person picking up the phone has to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, amen.
And, you know, we talked about this a little bit, you know, the absolute messy nature of our sport.
Mm-hmm.
I think that sometimes, you know, people forget that you know, there is room for all of us to be successful.
Yeah.
There really is.
And that's, you know, the other part of this is that there are different rules depending on where you're at. There's a different measure of success, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, where we are right now and where we're headed. I mean, what Sir Lucious is trying to do on a yearly basis is not something that the head coach at UTSA is trying to do, right? There are levels to this, right?
Mhm.
So, from the standpoint of politics on, how do I deal with my AD, or how do I deal with the expectations? How do I deal with the pressures? Today's athlete, have I made the adjustments to what today's athlete, responds to? I'm dealing with a kid that, is this close to quitting, and he's the most talented kid on my team. How do I deal with that? Those are things those are real things. And yeah, I mean, if you pick up the phone and you call someone that's already dealt with it, now you've got some answers. You're not flying blind, right? You've already talked to someone that's dealt with this exact same thing. And, it may not be what you want to hear, but guess what? It's truth.
Yeah, what you need to hear.
It's what you need to hear. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
you need to hear.
Nice. Well, and I think that same advice goes to these jobs that are opening and the jobs that aren't open, or that they think, maybe you're not ready for it yet, or maybe you are ready and you don't think you are, but you've got to listen in order to make the right steps to be progressive. Whether it's, you think it's a lateral move and you're, I'm too good for it or whatnot, you need to listen, because like you've established already in the conversation, some of these quote unquote lateral moves or down moves from Power 5 to General 5, or even cross divisions, they make sense. Maybe not all the time, but most of the time. Clyde, you put your hand up.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm skipping way ahead. My heartbeat props tonight go out to the LLC crew. I'm not really available tonight. I'm in the middle of the 405, but we make it happen. So love y'all, and I'm gonna get off of this now because it's probably reckless.
Yes.
Peace.
Thank you.
I love that.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
I do want to say, in regards to what you just said, though, about these jobs, because look, these jobs have to get filled, right? That's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Be open and honest and talk with your mentors. If it's a job that you want, even though it's this time of the year, like, there's a right way still to go after this job, right? Communication is key. Don't try to sneak. All the things we've heard of people doing, because that's life without a parachute, right? Like, look, at the end of the day, if you're in a group of 5 job and you're gonna now, and the Louisville job, and you're a jumps coach, and the Louisville job is appealing to you, like, you probably need to go have a conversation with your head coach. And unfortunately, that conversation may not go great, but at least from a professional standpoint, like, you have to do that, because the jobs have to get filled, and they're going to get filled.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to get filled. And I think, you make a great point. I think that's part of the problem with what we do. Like, the communication piece is huge, and people, either they're calling the wrong people or listening to the wrong people.
Oof.
And the people that think, well, I can't call so-and-so. All they can say is no, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the answer is definitely no if you don't pick up the phone and call. So, yeah.
And let's
Big
don't
mouths
get
don't
twisted.
get fed.
The advice may be, hey, don't do it, right? And if a Sir Lucious is telling you don't do it, listen.
Yeah,
Right.
listen.
Don't question. Don't talk about it. Just say okay.
Okay.
Like your parents, say okay, and concede every thought that you had in that 3 minutes before you called because you were nervous about it. Right. Well, definitely, I'm glad that we're able to highlight some of the moves that have happened. So congratulations to all those people who are packing boxes or getting ready to pay people to pack boxes and moving people around. but more so for those who will be filling those roles. Confidence, a little bit of prayer for all of you going forward. So I'm glad we were able to round that out for a learning moment there too. Let's have a little fun now. So as the professional, or I hate saying that word now because of our show, like it's not professional, but the professional season's wrapping up. Every year we've got to get an athlete of the year. So who are some names that we should be considering across, well, hopefully across the board, but definitely across the board in the world of track and field for the year?
Yeah, I want to start with, okay, there's Mondo, and then you can talk about everybody else. Right? I mean, like, I think we got to mention the others, but if Mondo doesn't win it this year, then there's definitely somebody getting a lot of money at the table, right?
Mhm.
I mean, what that young man has done has just been absolutely phenomenal, and he should be rewarded for that by getting that award. I don't think there's anybody close. I mean, you think about the season that Noah's had, you think about what Krauser's done or continues to do. Hey, Dos Santos. I mean, he's got to probably be your most improved, right? Yeah. So yeah.
So right now, in terms of the overall rankings on the men's side, Duplantis is 1, Krauser's 2, Dos Santos is 3, Lyles is 4, Ingebrigtsen 5, Christian Say is 6, Kovacs 7, Curley 8, Tola from Ethiopia is 9, and Grant Holloway is number 10. So, that's based on world rankings. On the women's side, right now, it is, let's see.
It is far more entertaining, is what it is.
Yeah. This is actually, females.
I think this is going to be the crux of tonight's conversation about, as a preview to who we think is going to be the athlete of the year. Because I would imagine if we all had a vote, everybody would vote for Mondo 1. I would imagine.
All right, you ready for this? So right now, Rojas 1, Fraser Price 2, Sherika Jackson 3, Sydney McLaughlin 4, Femke Bol is 5, Toby Amusan 6, Kip Yegon 7, Tessagay 8, Jerutu 9, and Elaine Thompson Hurrah is 10.
Wow.
So when you look at that mess, right? So you've got the utter and sheer dominance of Sid. You've got the dominance and the consistency of Shelly Ann. And then we know Ross is a cheat code, so she's not even fair.
Yeah.
Right? So but I'm gonna ride with Shelly Ann on this one for me, just because of her utter dominance and consistency. The number of times she's run under 10.7 this year. But man, it's hard not to vote for Sid.
I feel like
Sid's the performance of the year for sure.
Yes. I was just about to say, listen, if World Athletics would ever listen to anything we would say, the one thing they would do that would for sure improve the sport and give us more people to talk about is give a performance and a performer of the year in each gender.
Yes.
Because look, there's nobody better than Sid. Sid just doesn't race that often. Right.
Exactly.
So there's value in both of those things.
Shouldn't we have the same conversation with the Alphabet crew? I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I mean, we're all going to Colorado, right?
And again, this is going to be the same scenario that I said last year. Look, Rojas has had the best season of anybody because she still hasn't lost, right? But she's A, a field eventer, and B, because she's a cheat code, she almost has to compete against herself.
Right.
Oh, well, she hasn't broken the world record outdoors.
But hasn't that been Shelly Ann this year though too? Like Shelly's competing against herself. You know? And then
100%.
Sid's in a whole different atmosphere. Like you said, she just doesn't race enough.
But
Like,
at
think
least
about it like
Shelly,
this.
at least
And-
Shelly
and-
is
and-
not competing against the world record and herself.
Right. Right. So, well, technically she is because the 1049,
Yeah.
right? So, but like with Sid opens up at some obscure high school and runs the second fastest time ever.
With
Then
the
she
hurdle
goes
in
to-
the wrong place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then she goes to USA's and breaks the world record. Then she comes to World and shatters the world record.
Yeah.
Right. And then she says, well, I'm gonna come to Budapest and then I'm going to my honeymoon and I'm done.
And
Yeah.
again, what we're dealing with here, because she has not run every other week, she's being penalized
Mhm.
Mhm.
according to World Athletics, right?
Because they're definitely not going to give her the award
No,
because
no.
she's only graced them with her presence once.
One time.
Because world championship doesn't count in their eyes.
Yeah.
Because you got to be there,
Yes.
right? U.S. champs doesn't count because she had to be there.
Yep.
So from their perspective, she's only joined the tour for one race.
Yeah. It's, this is where I think, again, we're dealing with the Venus and Serena quandary, right? Women's tennis has known for decades that the best two tennis players that we've seen, pound for pound, have been Venus and Serena, no question about it. But because they have not conformed to the regular, week in, week out schedule that a professional tennis player is supposed to play, they're entering these tournaments. Here's Serena entering the tournament and she's not even ranked. She's kind of like in, and that's just how it is. And they're not going to bend. That's just how it's going to be. So, yeah, I mean, there's no comparison. I feel like, we've got the best athletes in the world that probably won't get recognized because they won't conform.
Imagine
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, imagine the mental strength that takes to know that the number next to you is never gonna be what you think or even what the world tells you what it is.
Mhm.
But a system, a governing body says, no, you're this.
Yeah. Yep.
And at the
It-
young age that they did it at too.
Yeah. Yeah. But that took, their parents, their
Yeah.
support system, hey, you are doing the right thing. Go get your education.
Yeah.
Go dabble in other things, go be a young woman, right?
Mhm.
Like that's something that, I love it. Absolutely love it.
I mean, the wild thing about the way the rankings work is that I'd be willing to bet you if Femke Bol doesn't lose any more this season, including the Diamond League final, she may actually pass Sid in the world rankings.
I mean,
Because Sid's not racing anymore.
yeah. And there will be a 4 hurdles race at the Grand Prix final,
And
right?
there'll be a 400 hurdle race at the Grand Prix final.
The Diamond
Right?
League final. Yeah.
So at some point in time at the end of the season, you're going to look at the list and Femke Bol is going to be rated the number 1 ranked 400 hurdler in the world.
Yes.
And then right below her will be the number 2 ranked 400 hurdler in the world, who's also the fastest 400 hurdler in history by a truck length.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the rankings and this is the way the world is going to be. So I don't know. I think if I was going to give a preview and how I thought it was going to finish, I would probably go Shelly Ann, Rojas, Sid. That's probably what I would guess the podium is going to be, but it probably won't be because we got to get a distance runner in there. She hasn't lost either. And she's going to keep racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to have an issue penalizing Sid for only racing 4 times. They're not going to have an issue with that. But if I was a betting man, that would be my 1, 2, 3.
I'd go there too. I'd say Fraser Price, Rojas, and Sid. I mean, I mean, you're talking about the cream of the crop. No question.
I mean, Shelly Ann ran under 10.7 3 times in a week
That is amazing.
in 3 different
Yeah.
places.
Sheesh. So, with moving and efficiency, we're going to move on with Would You Rather and Sir Lucious. This one's yours.
Again?
Yeah, they went
It's
fast.
been a
didn't
while.
it? I
It's been a
checked.
while.
I checked because I was like, I feel like I just talked to you.
I knew it was me, but I was just
All
hoping
right.
you were gonna forget not, because I mean, let me brace myself for the subjectivity that I'm about to
No,
be
I
abused
think
by.
it's a good one.
Okay.
I always say
You
that,
always
right?
say that.
All right. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I am ready.
All right. Would you rather only eat frozen food or raw food?
I mean, like, do I get to warm up the frozen food?
No.
You got to eat
Oh,
it like
okay.
raw
Okay.
or frozen.
I'm gonna starve to death. I'm not eating anything raw. and
Lucious, you don't eat
that.
sushi?
No, he doesn't like seafood.
Oh, okay. All right.
No. But
All
hey,
right.
in this case, I guess I better learn. So I guess I'll have to go with the raw, because I'm not eating anything frozen. That was a
Would you
terrible
rather?
question,
That's an awesome question. Would you rather always wear pants or always wear long sleeves?
Pants.
Would you rather eat chicken nuggets or chicken fingers?
He doesn't
Fingers.
care.
Or
Would
fingers
you-
are better.
They are. They really are. Would you rather always drive a slow car or always ride a fast bike?
Say again then?
Always drive a fast car or always ride a fast bike?
No, you said
Like
slow
your-
car.
Slow car or fast bike?
Yeah.
Like, is it a motorcycle or just a bike?
For your sake, we'll call it a motorcycle.
Well, I'm taking the motorcycle
Now, what is Angela going to let you do?
then. Slow car. Slow car.
Would you rather never be able to speak again or never be able to hear again?
Why do I get these questions?
I don't know. I scrolled and I found this one.
Here.
Yeah. Would you
And then I
rather
don't have to work so hard to ignore people then. I just can't hear.
Yes.
I can learn sign language though, right?
Selective listening at its finest.
Yeah.
Would you rather have to walk a pig or walk a turtle?
What is going on tonight?
I love these questions. She always gives him the worst batch of questions. No question.
I was obviously the pig, because if I'm walking a turtle, I'm never gonna get it. You carrying the thing everywhere I go.
I have a true question. Do the armadillos go fast? Because the rate of armadillos, what's that called? Roadkill that I saw when we were in Gainesville. I was like, man, these guys don't win. They don't win at all.
I don't pay him any mind. I couldn't tell you.
Oh goodness. All right. Sorry, distraction. Would you rather walk through mud or walk through water?
Water.
Would you rather go without soap or go without toothpaste?
Soap. See, you might be able to cover up the soap deal with some deodorant. Yeah, you gotta brush your teeth.
Can't cover up the yuck mouth.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
I want to know, before we go any further, why I get these questions.
Oh, I found a new bank of questions. That's why.
And so you try them out on me? Every freaking one of them? Goodness gracious, big league. I'm gonna have to have a little talk with Little League and tell her you're abusing
He would probably beat me up for it too. Oh man.
All right. I'm actually gonna stay in that same general vein. Not too bad.
Wow.
No, not. I'm saying the same. I'm gonna ask her. Would you rather? Would you rather never ever coach the 4x1 again, or never ever coach the 4x4 again?
Oh,
See,
Jeez, that's awful.
I was in my bag tonight.
shuttle
That's
hurdles.
awful. Um, 4x4. 4x4.
You're never coaching the 4x4 ever again.
Yeah, if I got a choice, the 4x1. See, the 4x1 gets my heart rate up.
Yeah.
The 4x1
Well-
does. I mean, the 4x4. I mean, like it does, but not the same way. The 4x1's more of a challenge. So of course I was going to take the challenge, right?
I mean, you did win both national championships last year. You know, you ran one that you barely ran a 4x4, and you ran another one that you beat everybody to death. So
All right.
interesting.
I'm going commercial with this. Let's see. Okay. I know the answer to this one. Would you rather find true love today or win the lottery next year?
Oh, he is
What?
Angela.
So you are you trying to get me shot?
Yes, he is.
I'm taking the lottery. Come on.
Love it.
Come on. I'm going to tell her you did this too.
Awesome.
That was
That's
so
a pretty good
funny.
one.
Yes.
It was.
That was so funny. I love it. I
I
love
was
it.
trying to think of a petty question to ask you for Clyde, but I can't think of a good one.
Goodness gracious. Well, with that said, that was fun. Let's move on to our heartbeat props. Clyde, of course. I think ours reverse in reverse for Clyde is to have him get home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. Because he's crazy enough. He might be trying to drive back tonight or something.
No, he is.
He is.
He's already passed the
I think-
grapevine.
No. He think about it. He said he ended up at Magic Mountain. That means he was on his way south. Right. So I'm saying he might be the one that would try to come back tonight to San Jose and do that hour and a half around the mountain through the whatchamacallit again. Let's just hope that he's safe. How about that?
Yeah. I'm gonna stop analyzing.
Exactly. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No clue.
All right.
I see.
I'm going to jump in and go
drawing.
first. No, that's not Google Maps, sir.
Exactly.
I'm going to go first, and I'm actually going to self-centeredly give heartbeat props to our staff at TCU, because I mean, as in any other place, we're just filling gaps and trying to seal the leaks and all these things. It's a lot. It's the first time I've ever had to do it. So, like, man, for those of you who've done this a number of times, bless your heart. It's just a lot. And, when you're mixing staffs or, you come in, I don't know the experience of coming in with a whole new staff, but, learning the ropes, trying to figure it out, not only as a single person, but as a program for the redirect. It's a task and a half at the very least. So, I'm going to give props to us for still being alive and enduring the last 5-ish weeks, and obviously way more to go.
Yeah, I'm going to double up here if y'all don't mind. I am yet again going to give a passionate plea to please pay very close attention to people and their mental health. Like, I can't pick up my phone or open up my iPad or turn on my computer without there being, or pick up the phone and talk to somebody that there's just all kinds of things going on in the world, and people are crying out in many different ways. So if you notice something abnormal about somebody, please don't be afraid to speak up and say something, because it's a lot of, crazy stuff going on out there. And then in reference to the coaching carousel, and I am going to apologize for not doing this before. I'm going to give heartbeat props to one Miss Karen Dennis, who retired from Ohio State a month or so ago. after an absolute stellar career, many NCAA qualifiers and scores, and a couple of NCAA champions, and was arguably the dominating team in the Big Ten for the last decade or so. So, congratulations on your retirement, and again, a phenomenal job in all you did with the Buckeyes.
I want to give heartbeat props to all the newly minted black head coaches in the NCAA and in Division III. Warner University is where Hassan Stamps is. This job is not for the squeamish, and ultimately your success will be based on your ability to manage personalities, motivate your staff, for some of you, fundraising, for some of you understanding the NIL piece of the puzzle, like the amount of balls that you have to juggle, to get everything in one place and to get everybody focused in one direction. It is an enormous undertaking. So all the best to you, and looking forward to a successful 2023 season.
Mine is sort of selfish, but my heartbeat props are going to go out to all of the members of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Alpha Epsilon chapter at University of California. Our chapter just celebrated its 100th year of intake and brotherhood, and the celebration this past weekend was one of the few things I've ever done in my life that was way better than advertised. And when you get to meet someone who did the same thing that you did as a young collegian in 1957, I'm 67, and one in 1959, and somebody says to you, hey, I want you to meet another brother that pledged from Brooklyn. And I turn and I look across the barbecue, and there's a 5'7" or 5'8" white guy from Brooklyn, New York, who's Jewish, who pledged Alpha Phi Alpha in the 80s. And you go and meet him and find out that he was, the campus DJ and was a rapper. And you're like, and he's now like, a surgeon and makes like 7 figures. They're just like, wow. All of it can be just amazingly positively overwhelming. And having had a few days to reflect, it's definitely one of the better things I've ever been associated with in my entire life. And I do want to send out my heartbeat props to all my fraternity brothers, and in particular, all the ones that crossed at my school. Great job, gentlemen. 100 years of manly deeds and service to all mankind.
Congratulations. All right, well, episode well done. Great efficiency and timeliness for the first time in about 10 weeks.
Right?
Probably longer. But with that said, definitely welcome new September. Those of you who are starting up, if you haven't started already, have fun, lather up in that sunblock, and we'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone.